Okay, good morning, parents. This is Desiree Schmidt, and I'm going to do a couple makeup tutorials so that you can feel like you can get your kiddo confidently ready for the show this week. So I'm here with James today. Say hi, James.
Hi.
And the first thing I'm going to show you is I've already started on his base. And like in the document that I shared with you, you can see that his base is about a shade or two darker, and then I'm blending it in so that, tuck your lips please, so that it looks real nice and even. Okay, so I don't know if you can see in the video, but I've done half of his face at this point, and you can see it's not a lot darker than his natural skin tone, but it is darker. Can you see that? So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of his base. Point out a couple things. It's nice and even, and I went all the way into his hairline and all the way, to his ears, so that there's no line between, his face and the edge of the makeup. It just goes all the way. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make sure that he has noticeable eyebrows. So I like to do that just with a dark color eyeshadow and a brush like this. So it's really important that we can see eyebrows from the audience. And I'm just gonna go over his eyebrows. I am using a long wear eyeshadow, but it's just over the counter drugstore. It's I wanna say it's Revlon Color Stay. Actually, here we go. Yep, Revlon Color Stay. And it lasts a little bit longer. I like this for regular eyeshadow and for eyebrows. But you can see that his eyebrows are going to be noticeable, and they're filled in all the way. The eyeshadow goes on really nice. It doesn't look like, I used a Sharpie on his eyebrows. It's just putting color on the hair that he has and then kind of filling in the shape a little bit. I do recommend using a powder. It looks a lot more natural than a pencil, but if you're really good at pencil brows, go for it. I'm not as good at using a pencil as using the shadow and a regular eyeshadow brush, but you do what works for you. So I like to look there and then try to even them out as much as possible. It's really important that we have two distinct eyebrows. So if you've got some hair in the middle, which James doesn't happen to, but if you have some hair in the middle, it might not be a bad idea to clean that up with some tweezers, whatever you're comfortable with. But it is important that we do see two distinct eyebrows unless your character specifically has one eyebrow. Okay. In the mirror, but when I'm doing somebody else's makeup, it's a little bit difficult for me to look at them straight on and really get the right angles with my hands. So what I like to do is I like to sit behind a cast member. Like I do the side that's comfortable for me, like I can do his left hand side with my right hand, but when I'm doing the other side, I like to stand behind the cast member and then have them lean their head back really far like this, so I can get a good angle with my brush. And then I like to make things really symmetrical as much as possible. So this angle helps me to be able to do that on the right side. So that's a trick that you can use if you'd like. I do this for eyebrows, eyeshadow, and then also to even out blush. Okay, this is getting ready to do James's blush. So on boys, you can go real subtle. This is just an inexpensive over-the-counter L'Oreal blush in a fairly neutral shade. I like to use that for boys, and then this is good for a light complected cast member as well. So I'm just going right on the apple of its cheek and then up the cheekbone. Honestly, it's hard to overdo blush, so make sure that it's real noticeable. If it looks like it's too much, you're probably just about right. And like I said in the previous segment, I like to make sure it's symmetrical. So I'm gonna come and stand behind him to do the other side. if you feel comfortable doing that facing your kiddo, go for it. It's just, my angle is a little bit weird on that. So then I'm gonna come around in front of him, check and make sure that it looks pretty symmetrical. Okay, for boys, not going to do a whole lot of highlighting on the eyes, but I am going to do a little bit of eyeshadow. So close your eyes softly, please. And I'm just going to do a fairly light color right next to the eyelashes and right next to the eyebrows. And that's going to be the same for girls too. And I will have a girl demo for you. Eyeshadow isn't nearly as precise as like eyebrows and blush as far as symmetry goes, so I don't need to stand behind him for this. And I am going to put a little highlight in the crease of his eye, so nice and soft with your eye, please. And I'm just using a little bit darker shade, just a slight bit darker. And I'll show you that color in just a second. Okay, so we've got the light color and the dark. Okay, and that's all he needs. So the next thing I'm going to show you is lipstick, and for boys we do want something in the natural tones. So I grabbed 2 different tones. This is a little bit darker red. I really love, what brand is this? This is Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Color, and it really does what it says it does. So, just going to put this on right here. Go ahead and open your mouth softly, please. Okay. Okay, and then tip your head back a tiny bit, please. Okay, and this is a real neutral shade, so it's not like, it's not going to look, you know, pink or extra red. It's just going to stand out and give definition to his lips. So this particular lipstick has a finish gloss, and it's not like glossy, it dries matte. So what I want him to do is blow on his lips. So look at me. There you go. Blow on your lips like 5 or 6 times. I'm gonna kind of dry the product a little bit. If you're not in a hurry, you can just stand around and wait for this to happen, but I want to finish him up. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to put just the top coat on, open. Okay, good deal. And there you go for lips. Okay, so a good, you know, you can use almost anything for mascara. Here's one that I have from another cast member, and some eyeliner. And these are very personal products. We do not share them with other cast members at all. But I'm gonna have James do his mascara. If he needs some help, I can help him, but usually somebody doing that on their own is a little bit more successful than somebody else doing it. Just depends on what works for you and your family. And then I'm gonna finish him off with eyeliner. James doesn't have his own right here at the moment, so I'm gonna skip that step for him, but regular mascara and then a thin line that goes over the top of his eyelid. And the very last thing is I'm just gonna set his makeup, so I put a little bit of powder on my hand. Okay, close your eyes and exhale. Again. Okay. Okay. And there we go. James is ready for the stage. Woo! Hey, hi, it's Desiree, the makeup lady again. I'm here with Ella, and I wanted to show you makeup on a more fair complected cast member. So I've grabbed her foundation, again, about a shade darker than her natural tone. I'm going all the way into her hairline and then all the way back to her ears, blending really well all over, to get just the look that we want. I'm going all the way under her eyes, both sides. Get a little bit more product there. And then actually while we're going here, in terms of product for foundation, you know, there are a lot of really good products. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. I happen to be using a theater product. It's Ben Nye, but some other products that I use often. Probably this L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible is the least expensive, long-wearing foundation that I have found. I love it. And then this Smashbox is also really, really good. It's long wear, and I'm going to do Ella's eyebrows, and I want to make sure I see two distinct eyebrows. Her eyebrows just need a tiny bit of filling in here to even them out and make sure that we can see them from the very back of the auditorium. I'm using an eyeshadow brush and eyeshadow. This is Revlon Color Stay, and I'm using this lighter of the browns just to kind of even her out a little bit. And like I said in the previous segment with my male cast member, just symmetry-wise, I like to stand behind the cast member when I'm doing the other side just because of the angle of my hand. So if this technique works for you, go for it. After I'm done doing this side, I'm going to just stand in front of her and see if anything needs to be evened out. Let's take a look. And that looks awesome. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to just do a little bit of eyeshadow on Ella. And for girls, I do a little bit more of sparkly or something that you're going to be able to see a little bit better. So for underneath her eyebrows, I'm using kind of like a little bit of a sparkly light pink right there. And if you want to do the entire eyelid with something like that, you sure can, but some of it's going to get covered up with other products. And again, eyeshadow isn't quite as precise as eyebrow lining, so I don't feel that I necessarily need to get behind her to do a good job symmetrically applying this. Right above her eyelash line, I'm going to use a very light color. Close, thank you. Just to kind of highlight that area. And then in the middle, I'm just going to use like a tan with a little bit of sparkle to put some definition in her crease. I'm ready for Ella's cheeks, and I'm actually going to use a cream product. It's very inexpensive. It's a Revlon cream blush, and I'm just going to use my brush here and put it on her cheekbone, cheek apples, and then go up at an angle. I'm almost making like a letter J. And then for blush, I definitely feel like I need to get behind her to do a good job with symmetry. So chin up nice and high, please. Again, it's hard to do too much on blush. So if it looks like it's a little bit much, you're probably just about right. I'm gonna get around the other side and check symmetry on her. Oh, that looks good. Nice and bold with the cheek. For lips, I'm using, again, Maybelline, Super Stay 24-Hour Color. This is a bold pink. They have, you know, some reds that are really, really strong. Go ahead and open your mouth a little bit, please. This one really does wear like it says it should, so it's great. Ella actually has mascara on already, so I'm not going to do that, but just a simple few swipes of mascara is more than enough. Go ahead and tap your lips together. Okay, and then I'm going to have you blow on your lips like this, like 5 or 6 or so times. And then this product has a finish on it. It's like a gloss, but it'll dry with a matte finish. I'm just going to go right over it. And young lady, you are ready for the stage. Oh, gorgeous.